Are we rolling?
We are rolling.
All right, welcome back to Movie Talk with Heat and Noah.
Welcome back, bitches.
All right.
Alrighty. And this week's episode is Robocop.
Robocop. Oh man, I definitely knew I wanted to do Robocop. I'm glad we're doing it now.
Yeah,
Robocop
likewise.
has always been one of my favorite movies growing up.
And this was actually first time watch for me, so.
Okay, so we got a beloved classic for me and a first time watch for you. All right. So get into the nitty gritty.
So, what do you like about Robocop? If we're gonna start with like the positives.
So, I am a big sucker for 80s movies. I've always liked 80s action, 80s acting, just the time period itself.
Yeah, I love it too. It's the best.
So for one thing, I was surprised. This movie came out in 1987, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought it came out earlier.
Yeah, so like in 1981 or something like that.
Yes, I thought it was a lot earlier, but it was 1987.
Yeah.
And obviously it's kind of like the whole, Robocop, going into the story a little bit, is Alex J. Murphy, isn't that his name?
Yeah.
Alex Murphy. He's a good police officer, real good, but
he finds himself in a situation with a bunch of bad people, and I was actually pretty shocked with like the gore effect used on his death, because it looks like a pretty cheesy movie, but so then when the gore started, I was pretty shocked.
So when this movie came out, it got good reviews. Just the big, I've looked at a lot of reviews. The biggest critique at the time was what you just mentioned. A lot of people didn't know how, you mentioned gore. It's a lot of blood.
Yeah, it's a lot of violence.
A lot of violence, a lot of blood. What do you call them? Squirts.
Yeah, blood splatter, squirts.
Lots of blood in this movie.
Yeah.
Blood's kind of not your thing, then probably wouldn't recommend it. And so Officer Murphy dies, and so that's an interesting thing, is that in this movie, there's the police department, but basically the whole city of this Detroit, because this movie takes place in Detroit, is owned by this company.
The company.
And I literally watched this movie. What was the name of the company?
Oh yeah, I don't remember either. These are things we should remember, but I can Google it up pretty easily if you want me to.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
You're looking.
Okay, OCP. It's OCP.
OCP.
Consumer.
Yeah.
It's so. Detroit. I don't know if you know anything about Detroit Heat. Detroit is in Michigan, and Detroit, especially the last good few years, is famously known for being really run down. No offense to anybody from Detroit. I'm not trying to dog any Detroit people here. It's just for somebody who doesn't live in America, Detroit is very, especially modern day Detroit, the last few years has a reputation for being very broke, lots of crime, and so you can kind of sense. So basically, in this world, this company basically takes over Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're not making it any better. There's still lots of crime.
There's a lot of crime. And then it continues on for Alex when we catch up with him, because I thought the visual of him waking up, or we get a point of view of him in his new state. I thought I was pretty clever.
Right. So obviously Alex, they basically OCP owns his body, and one of these executives comes up with an idea so crazy it might just work. They would rebuild him with certain attributes, which of course means robo parts. And as in the movie, I think I don't remember his name, but he told him what came out was a bad motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Robocop.
Robocop. I would say he's on par with the Terminator in terms of like being iconic. The Terminator is certainly more iconic. But I think I like Robocop more actually.
Absolutely. So I've only seen the first. I mean, I've seen the first 2 Terminators. I'm definitely a bigger RoboCop fan than Terminator.
Yeah.
So there's a show called Death. Shout out! It used to be. It's a show to see who would, and they put two fictional characters together so he would win in a fight to the death. And they did Terminator versus RoboCop. RoboCop. Hey, spoilers. RoboCop whipped the Terminator's ass, straight up.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a cool thing. It gives, like RoboCop. He's the ultimate cop. He can arrest people because most of his body is still like artificial, but he still has one thing. He's got a human brain, which we'll get into a little later. But so like we see RoboCop going on patrol. He stopped this guy from robbing the store. The guy full of lead, just bounces right off of him.
Oh yeah. Immune to bullets. That is certainly beneficial.
Exactly. But we see later in the movie. But the thing is, RoboCop, he still has something that they just can't get rid of. He's got memories.
Oh yeah, I love that sequence when he goes into his old house and we can see his memories flash before him. We can see his son, we see his wife, we see him walking around in that empty house.
That's the cool thing about RoboCop is he's a pretty he's machine mostly, but his humanity still lives within him. I mean, it won't leave.
Yeah, I feel like that's what makes him more interesting than Terminator, because of his human brain.
I mean, like the whole idea of like people build something, but it gets like I always like to think of. I mean, Frankenstein, right? Frankenstein, the doctor makes his monster, but the monster has feelings. It has emotions. Same with RoboCop. They build RoboCop from his bloody, destroyed body. But he still has humanity in him. He still has life.
That's emotions, man.
Exactly. And then, so when I was younger, Murphy had a partner, the lady. I used to hate her when I was younger. I thought she was annoying. But now I like it though. She's like, you're Alex Murphy. You're not RoboCop. Yeah, you're. So she kind of like gets that inside his mind a little bit.
And perfect. We are back.
And we're back. All right. So we talked about the things we liked, and we're still going to. So let's also get in. Who are these villains in this movie?
The villains are a group of people that Alex and I forget the chick's name right now, but they get called to a crime scene. They go in and try to stop them. They get overpowered. The chick gets incapacitated, and Alex gets surrounded by these people, and they taunt him, they shoot him like crazy, and they straight up just kill him. And from that point, those are the villains for Alex, because he has, as we talked about earlier, he has this human brain. So he wants to take out these people. And that's his whole sort of...
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's one villain, or villains. One part of the villains, And then we have
Right.
these other villains, which are these higher ups.
Corporate fat cats.
Yeah, exactly. So we have two villains to play, one personal and one also personal. I don't know why I said that, but one is more personal.
Right. So the main, so like I would call him maybe not the main villain, one of the main villains. His name was Clarence Bodiger. He was like the drug kingpin, like the big boss of like the crime, which was funny because I'm pretty sure he's like the dad in the '90s show, or like the '80s.
I don't think I've seen it.
At the '80s, '90s show, whatever. But in like, and then seeing him, just like this dude with like big glasses, and he's supposed to be this big crime lord. I always thought it was kind of funny, but and then so. It turns out he is working with one of the fat cats at OCP. They're like working together. You know, he's helping him with crime and vice versa. And so we found out that Robocop has 3 prime directives and 1 mysterious one. Let's see if I can remember. 3 prime directives are serve the public trust, protect the innocent, and uphold the law.
Yeah.
And then when he finds out it's one of the fat cats up at OCP, he goes to arrest him. When then we find out his 4th, he has a 4th directive, the secret one. He cannot arrest or do anything to any OCP officials. He is like barred from doing it.
Yeah.
Because that fat cat, because he basically got rid of the guy who made RoboCop, and then he shows. Cause we saw earlier in the movie, kind of before RoboCop, what was it, the big, like you see it a bunch of times, like on like in pop culture, the T9000.
Oh yeah, the stop motion effect.
Yes. I'm gonna see what it's called real quick.
Something like the 290, I think it was called, something like that.
The 8209.
Yeah, 8209.
And it's super, super reliable, isn't it?
Oh yeah. 100%.
Can you imagine? Like, it's just like the whole idea, like these big, gigantic robots roaming the streets. Like that is just like the ultimate, like policing, like dystopia. Like you are living in a biggest dictatorship you could ever be. You got these gigantic robots that are ready to mow down people if they're doing something wrong.
Oh yeah, legit.
But don't ever, they have one big weakness. Stairs.
Oh yeah. And they squealed like a pig when he fell down.
They squeal like a pig and they make cat noises. Let's take a moment to appreciate that stop motion of that machine.
It's certainly got its charm, but it takes me out a little bit of the movie, but not by a whole lot.
How does it take it out of you? I want to hear this.
Because I feel like when you have something like Robocop, which is practical, and then you pin it against something that's CG, it makes it stand out so much more. It's the same problem I have with the Star Wars prequels. When there's so much CGI everywhere, and you throw real people in there, it looks weird, and it doesn't really match. I feel like that is the same criticism I would use for this.
I will say, it's just like, I mean, this is 1987, so the CGI, the stop motion, hasn't aged super well. Like, it doesn't look super well, so I will definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's like the end of the Terminator when he gets cut loose and you get that stop motion effect.
It's cool for what it was, you can appreciate it, but yeah, it definitely doesn't age super well.
Yeah, I feel like that makes the most sense.
And so let's end this movie now. So RoboCop and the girl, I think her name was Anne, whatever. They go hide out, and the criminals come, and they got these big old Cobra that just make humongous. Yeah. Yes, they just big old booms, don't they?
They got that.
But then they end up getting defeated, and then Robocop goes to the CPE officials and basically rats out the big wig, and then he holds the owner at gunpoint.
Oh, I love this sequence.
Yes, this is one of the best sequences of the movie. But so he still can't, he can't attack him because remember he's an OCP official. But then the owner's like whatever his name was, you're fired. And since he's not an OCP official anymore, since he got fired, Robocop lights him up. And what does he do? Falls backwards through the glass.
Yeah, that's like Die Hard when Hans Gruber falls down, just woo. Falls down.
And another, kind of dated effects.
So green screen. They just. Yeah, but what could you do back then? You gotta take it for what it is too. Which I try to do. I just because it takes me out of the movie doesn't mean I don't like it.
And then the movie ends with the owner guy goes, "Nice shooting, son. What's your name?" He looks back and he goes,
Murphy.
And then the movie ends.
And that was Robocop.
There's a lot of things. It's just like there's a lot of things to appreciate about this movie. One thing I do really love are the commercials in between the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like ads in the news reports.
Yeah, that kind of I was weirded out by that at first. Like I thought the movie was like corrupted because it felt so tonally off. But I do understand why they did it, just to make it feel more real and more like a worldwide thing. Like
it's just especially at the time in the 80s, it's just like everything was just like had to do with something tragic. Even the toys, even the board games, the toys they were advertising was based on war. Need OCP because they make weapons because we need to get in war.
So I kind of like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, I mean, and this is also because, like I mentioned earlier, one criticism of this movie was that it was very violent, which would make sense because this movie is rated R. This is a rated R movie.
Yeah. So what did you expect?
Exactly. But here's the interesting thing: this movie was like rated R, like 17 and over. People, you cannot see it like if you were under 17 without like a grown up. But it's just like this is the era where movies were made for adults but marketed towards kids. There were Robocop toys you could buy. There were Robocop like old Nintendo games for kids. That was the big criticism. It was obviously for adults, but they marketed it towards kids.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and one thing I do want to mention too is the performance by Peter Weller. I love Peter Weller. God, I love Peter Weller when it comes to that.
He's so funny how he could be a good charismatic cop with Alex, and then he's a good like robot, trying to find his feelings.
Yeah, he shows up in Sons of Anarchy. He shows up in Dexter. I love this guy. I love the charisma of that Peter mostly brings to his characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really good. And
so here's an interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I do really feel like he brought it home here.
So I want to bring this up to you, Heed. Mm-hmm. So apparently, RoboCop is actually based off an historical figure.
Historical figure?
Yes. Apparently, the director has said he's based the story off RoboCop off a certain historical figure. A historical figure I'm actually a big fan of.
A real person.
It was a real person.
Is it Simo Hayahaya?
Nope.
A Finnish soldier, is It. I don't know if I'm. Should I know who this person is?
Yes, you should definitely know who this is.
Yeah, I'm probably going to know, but I just can't think of anything right now.
I'll give you one hint.
Give me one hint. Oh yeah, that. I should probably get it, but I just can't. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. So the director said that he based the story off Robocop off Jesus, because he dies, he brings him back to life, comes back to life, and there's a scene where he walks on water towards the end where he's fighting the criminals. Yeah, he walks on water. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Robocop is an allegory for Jesus.
That feels like an awesome thing to know.
But yeah. At the end, Robocop is a very fun. Like, I know a lot of people that don't like to watch old movies, but this is a fun movie to watch.
Oh, I've watched older movies, so like I have no problem with watching movies from the 30s, 50s, 60s, 40s, whatever. So
exactly.
Time is not a problem for me, and this is certainly 80s. I love 80s movies. And
yes, 80s.
And I also really enjoy 80s. Yeah, I love this movie. I feel like this movie is almost perfect.
And then, I know we've talked about it briefly before, but you said you haven't seen any of the sequels?
I haven't. There are 3 more.
There are 3 more movies. There was Robocop 2, and there was Robocop 3. And then there was a Robocop remake, I believe, in 2014?
Because
15?
Of course there was.
Yes, of course. And it was rated PG-13. So how is that ever going to be as good?
Yeah, obviously. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you expecting me to watch a PG-13 Robocop movie? But I do know, because I looked at the cast for the sequels, I do know that Peter Weller is in the second one.
Yes, I was literally about to say that. He is in the second one, but he's not in the third one.
That makes me wonder what the third one is even about.
Well, it's I don't know, like this other company comes and they try to take over.
And Noah cuts out. Noah. Yeah, well, this was in... Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, you turn on and off your camera. No, you don't have to. It went back.
Okay.
Don't do anything.
Yeah. Robocop 3, like, it's definitely, like, the Robocop 2 and 3 are not regarded as good movies, like, at all. Like, Robocop 3, I think it's under 10% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
and,
my God.
What?
Under 10%?
Yeah, it's I think it's been a minute since I looked at it, but it's rated pretty bad.
Yeah, legit.
And then there's like going back to like how I told you like it was marketed towards kids. There's like a RoboCop animated show, like a Saturday morning cartoon, and then there was also like a live action TV series too.
That's interesting.
And then so I'm a wrestling fan. I know you're not a big wrestling fan. And like WCW Wrestling, they did a promotion with RoboCop, I think for RoboCop 2. And then like RoboCop comes out to save the wrestler Sting from the Four Horsemen. Like they build up this, it was a pay-per-view. They build up this whole thing. RoboCop's gonna be here. He comes out one time to say, this fictional RoboCop comes out to save a real life wrestler from some wrestler bad guys. And then like it's kind of like they kind of filmed it so you couldn't see it, but like the RoboCop costume kind of falls apart towards the end, especially with the leg.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, but so how would you rate this beautiful piece of cinema?
Beautiful piece of cinema. I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to rank it. I think I ranked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is 8. I'm going to rank it as 8 as well.
Likewise. Feel like 8 is a fair rating for this one.
Right.
Great performances, great gore, great story. I feel like this is the most, like, in line for me as the movies we've watched. I feel like this is the one I had the most fun with up to this point.
Good.
So
good, I'm glad.
So next week's episode is actually going to be Scarface.
Scarface. We're doing Scarface.
With a little guest.
Oh, yep, you're right. This is the next. We're having a guest with us for Scarface. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so that was that. And this has been Movie Talk with Heed and Noah. Have a good one.